As a white person, have you ever been hated solely because of your skin color? I haven't been hated, but people have made weird and disgusting offhand comments towards me about my skin tone, especially how pale I am and the fact I'm Italian. I'm light-skinned of indigenous and Caucasian descent. Mixed. I look white though. A woman told me she did not like me because I was a Becky, meaning a white girl. I told her I was mixed and she said no mixed person could have white skin. She was very ignorant. She also hated Jews too. Yeah, I grew up in a mostly black and Hispanic neighborhood in California and got picked on constantly for being one of few white-looking kids around. Yes, was in a very diverse HR working and had some black employees talking about me, calling me white boy, this and that, and speaking negatively. Funny enough, they were in employee relations and a mention to their boss turned out poorly for them. Yes, quite often actually. In elementary school I was the only white girl and a group of black girls bullied me my entire 8 years at that school for being white. I had a huge crush on one of them and she was a lesbian. But she told me she hated me 'cause I am white. I am also in a public high school now and am the only white person in 3/6 of my classes. And a lot of the girls won't hang out with me because I'm white. They told me this. I don't know if I'd say hate, but was definitely treated badly because of it. At my last job, I was the only white person that worked there. In a nutshell, there were 3 levels of employees that worked there. The manager and the equivalent of assistant manager were at the top. I was one of the mid-level people. Then there were the lower-level people. Managers did their thing and mostly relied on the mid-level people to manage the lower-level people. The managers sucked and usually had me doing the job of the lower-level people plus a mid-level person, which I didn't sign up for. The other mid-level people were actually pretty nice. The lower-level people, with the exception of one guy, all really sucked. If they didn't like you, they would always have a reason to not do the stuff you delegated to them, and that was a large part of their job. That meant I couldn't get all my work done, which got me in trouble with the managers who dumped more work on me than anyone else. They would also just be flat out rude to me because I was white. That wasn't just me thinking that either. The one lower level person that was actually a great worker pulled me aside once and apologized to me on behalf of his coworkers. He didn't think the way they treated me just because I was white was right. I ended up getting fired from that job because I was always falling behind. Oh well. It took me a good 45 minutes each way to drive there. The job I have now is 10 minutes away. The new one is way easier. All my bosses and coworkers, who are a pretty diverse group, go on about how great of a job I do. And my first check, which was only for a week and a half, was the biggest check I've ever gotten from anywhere. My next one that'll be for 100 hours will be even bigger. I remember distinctively one time I had a black freshman roommate, the sweetest girl, and she is still a good friend. I remember going to some event with her though, and it was all of her other friends since she went to a college in her hometown and I was out of state. I think I was the only white person there and I got some stares thrown my way, lol. I wouldn't say hate, but there were some confused looks as to who I was. I don't think it turns to hate until I start speaking. I bet you didn't hate me until I went, you're. I wouldn't say hated, but definitely targeted. I went to a junior high that was 90% black, 10% white. The day after the Rodney King verdict, there were a couple groups of guys going around the school hitting white kids. I tried to lay low, but during a class change I got hit hard in the side of the head. One time after a hockey game, myself, a white guy, and 2 scantily clad white girls went into a McDonald's full of black people. There must have been like 50 of them all just hanging around. So I quickly go to order my food to go, and black cashier throws my food at me and says, "Sorry," in a very sarcastic voice. I just stand there because all 50 of them are just staring at us. I'm still waiting on my ice cream sundae. By some miracle the machine was working. And it finally comes out, and the girl threw my package of nuts at me and said, "Oops, sorry again." I've never treated anyone like that, so it was quite a shocker to experience racism. The girls got their food and we promptly left. I don't know if you would consider it hatred, but it was definitely racism. Yup. In the high school I went to, whites were the minority. I got called every white racist name in the book. What took the cake though was when I got cornered in the parking lot by 8 black classmates and they threatened to kill me with a broken bottle. I don't know what would have happened if it wasn't for one of them having a brain. He convinced his buddies it wasn't worth it and they left. Most definitely. I've had quite a few instances of being treated differently in the area I live in now because I'm white. But as for just pure hate, there's a group called Black Hebrew Israelites that has a stronghold. It's mainly people born and raised here from what I've noticed. I don't know much about the group, but they preach black supremacy. They'll stand with signs in the plaza almost weekly about it. Yes, there are a lot of racists that are non-white. The only places I'd be hated are places I can avoid, which is an obvious disparity. Yes, I taught on an Indian reservation and some of them absolutely did not want me there. You could feel their hatred directed towards you. I have experienced racism for being white. Not often, but it's happened. Yes, I'm from Mexico, and in high school the kids bullied me for being white and later on for being tall. That was 15 years ago. Not sure how I'd know if they hated me, but I've being verbally and physically abused for being white. Yes, I have. Where I live, white people are the minority. To be honest, it doesn't bother me when random people or acquaintances have said stuff or hated me for being white. What bothers me the most is a lot of my friends' parents judge me BC. They assume I act a certain way, do certain things because I am white. When I was in high school, if a friend of mine got in trouble for something, they would tell me their parents would say stuff like, "What? You're doing stuff like this because of your white friend blank, huh?" Or, "It's because you're friends with blank." Even though that wasn't the case, lol. Yes, I was bullied by a group of black girls because I'm white. They actually waited for me off school property and jumped me. I know you're supposed to let things go, but I'm still pissed off about it. Wherever they are, I hope they're suffering immensely.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.